Why I stopped drinking and my realizations as to why I drunk. Hello and welcome. My name is Gareth Flick. In today's video, I just kind of want to go off the top of the head a bit raw of why I stopped drinking and how I stopped drinking, because it was absolutely destroying my life and wreaking havoc in my life from about the ages of 15 to at least 27 years, 28 years of age. I would be one of those people that would go out every weekend, even throughout the weekdays, just to get absolutely obliterated and unconscious from alcohol. And I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but it leads to creating havoc and destruction in nearly every area of your life. And I did that for so long, and it ruined so many aspects of my life. But now I'm thankful because I've been able to be, I think I've been sober. I haven't drunk anything for maybe coming up 3 years. And it was the best decision I'd ever made, because I don't know, I just always be trying to find parties, always having an excuse to go out and drink so I could suppress. I didn't know that at the time, but deeply, deeply, I did not love myself. So I would suppress it with alcohol. I wasn't in control of my life, so I would use alcohol. I wasn't very confident, so I'd use alcohol for confidence. I wanted to speak to girls, I couldn't, so I'd use alcohol. I'd go out and party, and party, drugs, everything. And whatever it was, any excuse, what's everyone up to this weekend, just so I could numb myself. And this went on for so many years, as I had just mentioned, until the point where I started to want to seek God. I kind of had a bit of an awakening, and I was like, there must be more to life. I've made other videos how I went through a really deep depression, and then I was drinking even more and more and more. And I've actually found this book called Conversations with God. I'll put a wee picture. And in this book, this is the one, like one of the things that really hit me so hard that made me want to stop drinking. And in this book, it's like a back and forth between the person speaking of God and getting answers back and forth. And it was really good for that point of awareness that I was at. And it talked about drinking alcohol, which is essentially just poison, isn't it? Poisoning ourselves. And it was talked about, and like the God's response said, would someone who loved himself poison their body? And when I heard that hit me like a freight train, boom, and I just burst into tears, because I really realized that I didn't love myself, and I was poisoning myself as much as I could to suppress, because I hadn't worked through my emotions, I hadn't worked through trauma, I hadn't worked through events in my life or memories, and that, you want to suppress the pain and the hurt. But the best way to get through the pain and the hurt is to face it head on and get through it and seek advice and help from other people to help guide you through it. Being vulnerable is not a weakness, it is a strength. So getting vulnerable and actually accepting, oh my gosh, I have issues that I need to work through. And I started to work through it. And it was that day, I remember just being like, I am never going to drink again, because I had broken bones, broken relationships, burnt so many bridges. I'd get so blackout drunk that I'd wake up and I'd message like ex-girlfriends or people, inappropriate stuff, or I couldn't even remember anything I had done that night. And you come out of your room all moping, and then your friends like, oh my God, you did this and that and that. And you just had to take their word for it, because you're just so mind's broken that you can't even remember. But drinking was such a big thing for me. But since I've been able to stop it, which wasn't easy, I admit, especially when it is your identity and you go out in the weekends to hang out with friends who all get drunk. That's your get by, it's your past. That's what you want to do. Let's go to this rave, let's go to this club, let's go to this house party, or let's just get drunk in our room for the sake of getting drunk. It became quite an identity. So when I removed that aspect of my life, going out and being with friends who would always, out of, they're not don't mean any bad by it, always offering you alcohol. Even though I'm not drinking. Oh, you sure you don't want to drink? You sure you don't want to drink? And then the comments come, oh, you're boring. Oh, you've changed. Oh, we want the old Gareth back, or we want the one that used to get drunk and rowdy, you know? And that aspect of giving up drinking wasn't easy. And I had to kind of remove myself from those environments for a while just to be able to get centered and realize who I really was without the alcohol, to be able to go out without getting triggered or wanting to drink or, you know, fighting it. And then I got to a place where I could go out and I could observe my thoughts and my feelings and my reactions and actions while in the midst of like a heavy metal gig or like, you know, a club or a party and being around everyone getting drunk. And it's actually quite funny to actually watch people how they act completely sloshed out their brain. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I used to be like this. That's so intense. But, you know, it is fun, but it has a extreme cost, doesn't it? It's a good time. It's actually a terrible thing clothed with the illusion of a good time or gonna have fun or this will make me feel good, which leads to a hangover, which leads to missed meetings, missed appointments, broken friendships, arguments, fights, broken bones, nights in hospital, all this terrible stuff just because I want to feel good or have this false sense of confidence or mask something for a few hours, you know, which can lead to an even deeper depression, digging a deeper hole. To a point where people can even end up dying, you know, crashing or making stupid decisions, which I'd made them all, and I'm surprised I'm alive from some of the dumb things I did. But, you know, that was a part of my learning that helped me get to such a broken state that I had to seek, oh, there must be more to life than this, whatever I was doing at that state, which led me to a deeper path of self-realization and finding God and, you know, purpose and seeking to change my life, because you know you hit rock bottom, the only way's up, isn't it? And it led me to seek how to improve my life, how to improve my emotions, my thoughts, and deal with myself and everything and those around me, which actually led to newer friends, newer opportunities. You know, but you got to be careful if you're giving up drinking not to start doing other things. You know, it could be, oh, I've stopped drinking now, so I'm just going to get super high and wasted, and you know, or I'm going to start doing these narcotics or whatnot just to trade in one bad habit for another. You could start, I started listening to audiobooks and going for walks and trying to do things that actually I could like enjoy, meditation and everything like that, which probably seems super boring compared to going to a huge rave and getting blackout and, you know, all in proportion though, right? If you don't feel you have a problem and you just have a glass every now and then, it's good, but still it's not very good for the body, is it? And we can all agree on that. I guess people that drink wine could argue that point, that there's studies that, you know, how quick can one glass of wine turn into a 3-liter cask and you passed out on the road with no shoes, no phone, no wallet. Personal experience. But yeah, since being able to give up drinking, a lot of my emotions regulated. I started having more compassion and empathy for people, and I started being able to observe myself a lot more, build a natural confidence, go out and actually have fun. It built my ability to say no, to be okay saying no, to be okay being just my genuine self, or just being neutral around a room of people that are altered states of consciousness, right? And you know, a really good thing is every time you go out, if you have your license, you can drive and stay out and go home, or you can give people lifts home, or you know, I've seen a real drunk guy once. It must have been in his late 50s, sloshed out his brain at a club about to go get in his car, and I offered him a ride home, and he was so grateful because as we were driving, he's like, "Oh yeah, I lost my license like 5 times," and I'm like, "Jeepers, didn't learn." But yeah, it took a while and a lot of self-observation and healing and dealing with the emotions and traumas or things that I was trying to suppress. So you got to be quite strong, and you got to want to change and want to evolve and grow, which isn't super easy, but it's essential for our development, right? or else we're just going to keep going in a circle of getting drunk and leading ourselves to brain damage or death or unhealthiness and all these unhealthy actions. Sure, we can go and have a bit of fun every now and then. I've personally chose to never touch alcohol again in my life, just because nothing ever good came from alcohol for me personally. And I much rather keep a clear head with whatever I'm doing. But yeah, it's something you've got to want to do if you're wanting to give up drinking. But make a list of all the good and bad things that come from drinking for you. And are the good things actually good things? Like, oh, it gives me confidence, because it's a false confidence, isn't it? Or whatnot, or yeah. And for me, the list of negatives was huge and outweighed the positives. But yeah, you got to just, look for help, look for videos, how to give up drinking if you're looking to, or seek a therapist, seek a healer, spiritual healer, dive into spiritual books or conversation with God, or whatever you want to help you get past. Speak to friends. You might have to go hang out at new places and meet new people if the only people you hung out with were big alcohol consumers. Or you might be able to be comfortable just hanging out with people drinking and being okay saying no and just having a good time and enjoying being with friends, even if they're altered, because that's still fun. And you love your friends and they can do what they want. That's their life, their choice. But yeah, that's why I gave up drinking, or how, I don't know, there's a wee story about it. I felt compelled to speak about it. So yeah, if you're seeking to do it, commit to it. And yeah, may peace be on your soul, infinite love, and I hope you have a blessed life. I love you. Goodbye. I'll see you in the next video.